Hello Flosstube friends! I am Lisa and this is my channel Cross by Floss, where I talk about cross stitching and life blabbings. Today is Saturday, April 10th. It is actually Mr. G's birthday, but he is on the road. So we've already done the singing of the happy birthday to him via Facebook, and he'll be home for my birthday, which is kind of awesome. So today is a Stitch With Me video, and I need to apologize because last weekend, the day before Easter, I was supposed to do a Stitch With Me video, but I had suffered for just a little under 2 weeks with my ears just really throbbing and not feeling good, and I wasn't feeling good. And so I finally broke down and went to the doctor on the Wednesday before Easter, and found out that not only did I have a double ear infection, but allergies that had kicked in on top of that to make it a little worse. And then on top of that, just to add icing to the cake, I also was waking up with headaches every day because of the ear infection and the allergies. And so I just really crashed after that. I took the rest of the week off from work, and really did not do much. I did a ding dong ditch basically for the Easter basket for my little, and it really took all I had to drive to their house and give her the basket and watch her open it, and then basically leave. So I was not well for Easter, unfortunately. And the funny thing is I had attended a Zoom meeting on that Wednesday as well. I belong to a Zoom meeting group, and I so rarely get to go into those videos or into the meeting. And so I had just come home from the doctor and I was waiting for my medication. And so I thought, you know what? Perfect. I barely ever get to go on during the day because of work. And so I'm going to join. And so it was fun catching up with the girls, but whoo, was I tired. And I kept making mistakes in my pattern. And finally I was like, okay, I just have to stop. So if you are new here, we're going to get to the cross stitching, but if you are new, my Stitch With Me videos are really about stitching on a brand new project. And it's either a kitted project that I have, or it is one pattern that I have been dying to work on, and so go through my stash and find something. Well, today I am actually going to do a kitted project that I did through my my Parade of Kits video, I think it was. And so today I'm going to work on a blackbird design called Come Into My Garden. I just absolutely love this pattern. I mean, what is not to like about the birds and the house and everything? And then look at these scrumptious colors. I mean, yes. So we're going to work on that today. And I'm choosing to do it on parchment. Parchment's one of my favorite fabrics to use, and I'm doing it in an 18 count. So grab your drink for whatever time this is. If it's happy hour, oh my goodness, have a drink for me because I'm still on medication, so I can't be drinking. And but I do have my trusty coffee today, and we'll just stitch and blab, or craft and blab. Grab a craft, and we'll just do some blabbing. So the other thing that I wanted to do was today I am working on a new stand. Typically you have seen me use a lap stand by R&R lap stands. I'll put the link down below. But it looks like a Q-snap, but it's got two sides to it. If you want to see that, go to another, a prior Stitch With Me video, and you will see the stand that I'm talking about. But today I thought that I would review a different stand. I've seen this stand. I've been, thinking about it for a while. And so I just finally made the plunge. Not super expensive. I'll link it below again. I did buy it from Amazon. But it is the Nurge. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a bit of glare. Nurge or Norge. I've heard it pronounced both ways. But it is this little lap stand. Now, this is bad on me because when I purchased this, I read the description, and what I read was that, it was all polished wood, the whole deal. So when it came, and it comes in parts, so this piece here, you screw this piece into this piece, and then there's this piece here that holds your frame. So when I got these 3 pieces out of the box, I was really excited. Yes, beautiful quality wood, very nice. There's no rough. I mean, there's a little bit of rough in around here. It's a little rough, but it doesn't affect anything. And but really nice. And I'm like, wow, this is really nice quality. And I want to say I paid just under $40 for this stand. And then I got this piece here, the piece that is adjustable. It's adjustable height, so you can bring this down or up. However, I have it at the highest that it will go, that it will actually stay in there and sit. And I'm going to say that it is not high enough for me using it as a lap stand. So I'm a little disappointed about that. But the piece is plastic. And so I was like, did I read that in the description? I thought I read that everything was wood and, whatever. So, not horrible. It looks wood, but it is definitely a plastic. The other good thing is that, it's got this knob up here, and that's what you use to loosen or tighten the hoop that you put in. It swivels, which is pretty cool. So you take this piece here and you can untighten it, and then you can swing it so that you can maneuver your frame if I'm a loop starter, so that's pretty nice to be able to flip my frame back and forth as needed, and then you just tighten it up back to the angle that you would like it at. And I have it on the lowest angle that I possibly can get it. And then I did buy a Nurge. Joann's was selling them for a while. I don't think they are anymore, but they were selling the round hoops, and they were like $5 for almost any size of them, I think. And I got lucky and I got one. But for some reason, I saw on Amazon these Nurge square hoops. And I was like, oh, kind of like a Q-snap, right? So let me try that. So I bought 2 sizes. I bought this size here, which is the largest. This is the largest. And then I bought another one that is a medium, and so it's maybe an inch. I'm not sure, but it's a medium size. So there's 4 sizes to this frame, I think, and I picked the 2 largest sizes. Putting my fabric in was not fun. It is not tight. I could not get it as tight as I like it. It is not in any way, shape, or form tight. And this was as tight as I could get it. Now, I will also say that I have a 2-inch border going on this piece because of the size fabric that I wanted to, or the color of fabric that I wanted to use. I have enough in the length, but I did not have enough to give a 3-inch border. And so I'm using a 2-inch border. And So I wanted to be really careful, you know, with my edges because they're not serged. And so I didn't want to rip them, you know, or tight or grab them so tight that the threads started coming loose. And so, yes, that seemed to be a problem. Now, if I used a hoop, maybe I would not have had the same issue, but so far, not as impressed with these. Now, maybe these frames are not meant for this stand, but I think they are. I'm not sure. I have not seen anything online that indicates that people have used a square frame with this lap stand. And so I've seen everybody use a round hoop, but not a square hoop. The square hoop is plastic. It's also plastic. It's the same plastic as the height pole is. And yeah, and then putting it into the frame or into the holder, the top holder here. Again, it does not seem to be super sturdy. Like I can move this around. It moves around. And but it doesn't seem to come out. So let me get organized and we'll get to stitching and I'll show you. But so far, if I was using a hoop, I think I might like this stand a little more. But if I was given two stands to use, this one or my R&R lap stand, I'm going to choose my R&R lap stand. It is so much easier to use. It is so much easier to get the fabric in. And for the cost, I've paid more, honestly, for this setup than I did for the two different sizes of my R&R lap stand. So that's just, you know, something that I'm going to say. So far, I'm not impressed. I might be doing this wrong. And if somebody else has used these and loves them and knows that I'm using it wrong, please let me know, because I would love to love this thing. I have different things that I use to hold different different size fabrics, I guess. I like to work in hand. I have a Lowry stand that's beside me that I use for like my bigger Q snaps or my scroll rods. And then I have the R&R lap stand that I like, and then now this one. And I have heard some very good things about another lap stand, which I might think that I might get for my birthday. We'll see. But so far in the lap stand land of these kinds of wood frames, I have to say I am not 100% thrilled. So take that review for what it is. And like I said, I will link the 3 items that I mentioned in the show notes down below so you see. All right, so let me get organized and we will get to stitching. Okay, all ready to go with my mag eyes on, and whew, good looks, good looks. I'm glad nobody's here. All right, so the other thing I'm going to say about this lap stand is that it is, I want to, it's the most weirdest thing for me to say, but it's too close, but also too far. Like I feel that this area is too far away from me. Like I like to have more of an angle up, and then this is just too close to my body. I'm not loving this, and there's no way to change it. So yeah, so far, unfortunately, I can't give a fantastic review for this, but anyway. All right, so Come Into My Garden by Blackbird Design, and I am starting on the border. If you've watched my prior Stitch With Me videos, you know that I like to do borders in the videos because it's a lot easier to do this and talk. My concentration level is not always what it should be. So anyway, I hope everyone had a really wonderful Easter. Um, Good Friday, Easter Sunday. Um, like I said, double ear infections. So that was not fun. And Mr. G was not here. And thankfully, he was not here because he's one of those hovers. Do you have a significant other that when you get sick, they kind of over hover? Now, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate, I love, that he gives me a lot of attention because my ex-husband was not the same. And so it is really, really nice that Mr. G gives me, like he is overly hovery. And he insists that I want things that I don't want because he thinks that I want them. But and it's very difficult to say no. Not difficult, but I feel like he's really going out of his way and he really cares, and it seems mean to say no. But there's only so much water you can drink, or food you can eat when you're not feeling good or whatever. And he's very sweet. He is very sweet. But I am very thankful he was not here because it was bad enough, when I was on the phone with him and he was like, well, did you get your meds? What kind of meds were they? And are you using them properly? Are you, are you taking them? I know how you hate taking medication. And are you drinking enough water? Did you have something to eat? What did you eat today? I'm like, oh my goodness. So, oh goodness sakes. But like I said, I am very thankful that he cares enough to worry and hover, though sometimes, yeah. And I guess, I'm also not a good sick patient. I'm one of those that like kind of leave me alone. I'll get well on my own. Just leave me the bottle of medication. I'll figure it out, leave me to my misery kind of deal, and don't bother me. If I want to get up and watch TV, that doesn't mean that I'm feeling good. It just means that I need like a scenery change or, something like that. So, gonna have to count too. Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, it just means that I need like a scenery change or, something like that. But he then takes it as, oh, you must be bouncing back. Are you feeling okay? And then he's very concerned. He's very concerned. And he's like, you probably shouldn't be up and around right now. Go back to bed. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to bed. I'm bored of bed. I am an ornery patient. Ornery. So, and it is funny because when he's sick, he likes to be left alone as well. So, but yeah, today is actually Mr. G's birthday. And of course, he's not home. He's not home yet. And so the girls and I did the FaceTime happy birthday singing to him this morning. He was absolutely thrilled. He is also, I think I alluded to this before, but he doesn't really talk about his childhood a whole lot or his mom and dad. And I get the impression, like from what he has said, it hasn't sounded great. And so my impression is that like holidays, birthdays and that kind of thing was nothing different than any other day. It seems to me that it wasn't really celebrated hugely, and we don't do that at my house. We celebrate everything. I mean, really, we celebrate everything. And yeah, everything is special. And so he doesn't get to get away with that at my house. Like I may have mentioned once that when I first met him, so I met him in March, 5 years ago. So our 5th anniversary was just last month. And, um, you know, our birthdays are in April. And so, when I found out that his birthday was in April, I went and got a cake and, some candles, and I got him a gift, and he was blown away, like blown away. It was almost like it had never happened to him before, that he had never, not even in his relationships, was that, a special thing. And so I was like, okay, well, that's crazy. So then, my birthday is 2 days after his. And so, he then did the cake thing and the flowers and bought me a gift, and really, really sweet. I mean, we'd been going out for a month at this point, right? And so, and we're older, not expected, totally fine. And then Thanksgiving, was it Thanksgiving came? And I said to him, oh, well, what are we going to do for, Thanksgiving dinner? And he goes, oh, we're having dinner? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's Thanksgiving. And he's like, oh, well, we didn't do those things. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't do those things? And so I got everybody together. We had Thanksgiving at his house. It was so much fun. And then Christmas came, and I was like, about to decorate his house. And I'm like, well, where's all the decorations? Because at the time, he had a house, and I had my house. And so we weren't living together. And he goes, oh, I don't have any decorations. And I'm like, what do you mean you have no decorations? And he says, no, the ex-wife took them all, but they didn't really have a whole lot then either. And I said, you're telling me you don't even have like a tree or anything? And he goes, no. And he says, and I wouldn't have, if I was on my own, I wouldn't even have put it up. And I'm like, say what now? At the very least, you need a tabletop tree or something. And so no, that was not allowed. And so that very first year we were together, we got an artificial tree for his house. We went decoration shopping, and found out what his style was and what he liked and the colors he liked. And we got a tree together. We put it up. We put the decorations up. You guys, he didn't even know how to put decorations on the tree. Like, he didn't know what to do. He put the tree together for me, but he was like, oh yeah, no, I've never put decorations on the tree. And I'm like, say what now? No, that does not fly here. And so, yep, he got enlisted to help and decorate, and I think that he's realized that over the years, I mean, it's what we do, and he goes along with the flow, and he celebrates. And like that first year, I mean, he didn't even know what to do for gifts, and so I just bought gifts for everybody and put them under the tree at his house and at the tree at our house, and we spent Christmas Day, I think, at his house, Christmas Eve at mine, because that's the tradition, jammies and the whole deal. And then Christmas morning we must have done at my house, and then I went to his house and we cooked Christmas dinner, and then the kids came that evening for gifts, because Santa came to both places for the little, and to make it special. And 2, 3, and so, yeah, it was, yeah. But since then, he's definitely learned. We celebrate all of the birthdays. We celebrate, the holidays. We celebrate anything that is special. Ella gets a excellent report card. We celebrate that. She goes up a reading level. We celebrate that. Like, we just celebrate everything. When my daughter graduated or got another certificate, we celebrate that. We celebrate, raises and promotions, and we just celebrate everything. We celebrate everything. I just think that it's so important to celebrate, and make people feel special. And it just blows me away. It makes me sad that that was not part of his upbringing, part of his life. And it's not that they didn't celebrate. I just think that, it wasn't special. It wasn't, it was like, yes, it's Christmas, here's your gifts, kind of deal. It wasn't, or yes, it's your birthday, here's your gift. He says he's never even had parties, and whew, I can't even imagine. So anyways, he will be home for my birthday. He is doing a drop off here in Washington, and so he will be here for my birthday, and we're gonna go out for dinner, which we're very excited about, at one of the steak places that he loves, and he's wanted to go to for a long time, but with coronavirus and then his schedule coming home, and of course you have to make appointments, and they're 90 minutes. You get 90 minutes to dine in. And he's not always home, or we can't get appointments, a reservation to go. And so he's really been looking forward to this. And so I bought him a gift. We did the whole FaceTime happy birthday singing this morning. He was absolutely thrilled. You should have seen his face. It was like, yeah, it was just like he was shocked that he was somebody special, and you should be special on your birthday. You should be celebrated. And then thank your mother. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Your birthday is actually less about you and more about me, because it's because of me that you're here and that you get to celebrate a birthday. So really, it's us. Because somehow I always make it about me. I don't really, but that's a joke in my family, that Emily and my daughter and I, that we always bring the conversation back to us. Somehow it's about us, but it's not really. It just is funny. But yeah, so that was fun, and the little is having her very first sleepover since they got their new house, and she is so excited about that because, with school and the whole remote learning, and she hasn't been able to see any of the kids from her school. And then, of course, we did choose to continue remote learning instead of doing the hybrid in class, just because it's easier for everybody involved. And so, yeah, she just has not been able to see any littles her age, meet any of the new kids, the new friends that she could have potentially had this year. And so she is so excited that one of her little friends in the mom group that my daughter belongs to, that they are getting together and having a sleepover. So super excited about that. And Easter went well. They had a really good time. Brendan's mom had a basket for the little as well, and she was super excited about that. The Easter bunny came, and then Grammy had a basket for her, and they were making, I wish I was not sick, because while I was there, Brendan was making breakfast, and it was lobster cakes, I think is what he was making. And oh my goodness, you guys, the smell, it was delicious. And I have to say, everything that Brenda makes is delicious. So that's pretty awesome. But I just was not feeling good, and Odin knows when I'm not feeling good, and so he was excessively, I mean, he's normally always very close to me, but he was more so close to me, and me leaving him felt like a betrayal. It's kind of funny in a way. He's getting so smart that he realizes when I'm about to leave, and normally I put him in my bedroom or with my son, because if I leave him out in the house, he barks, and we're teaching him not to bark at every little thing that is rolling down the street. And you know that a new leaf fell off the tree is not cause for barking. We don't need to celebrate that. And so we've really been trying to teach him to not bark. And because of that, if I leave him out unattended, he barks a lot, and then he thinks that it's okay. So I put him either in my room or with my son to watch when I'm gone, but my son was still sleeping. And so I put him in my room. Well, he knows when I'm about to leave, so he all but refused to come down to my bedroom so I could put him in there. And he would stay at the thing. And then as soon as I was able to finally get him back into my bedroom and was just about to close the door, that darn dog, he slinked. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him army crawl so fast out of a room. It was hilarious. And bolt down the hallway. So then I had to spend, a couple more minutes, pretending like I was staying, that I was in the bathroom, brushing my hair, and, all that, so that he would come back and then talk to him for a few minutes and then ran out the door. But the betrayal, he cries. He cries when I leave him. And yes, he's really a big baby. And you ask, why wouldn't I take him? Well, you've seen the size of Odin, or if you haven't seen the size of him, he's a very large dog. And he is not the best car rider. He thinks that he is a lap dog, and so he will try to get all up in your driving space. And so while we're driving, he thinks he should be up in my lap, and he's trying to get behind the steering wheel, and his big paws are on my gear shift, which is down in the center console. And he just won't, and then he slobbers, and then he's slobbering, and there's a lot of slobber. So I started putting him in the trunk and pushing up the seat so that, it's a big enough space, definitely, for him to be in. I have a CX-5 with a very large trunk area or back area. And so I will put him in there. But he tries to pace, which, it's a big enough space for him to stand up and move around, but you can't pace back and forth. And then he gets anxious because he thinks he's going to the vet. So then there's excessive slobbering, and he's just really not a good car driver. And what I need to do is just, take him on short trips so that he understands. But if I take him for anything longer than 10 minutes, I think he thinks he's going to the vet. So he starts getting very anxious, and it's not a good time. It's not a good time. So, and he's very happy at home. He's got, his food, his water, his toys. He's always got somebody is always home. And so, he's not, he's just a very big baby. And speaking of him, you probably hear him snoring down here. He is in his 18 or 20 hours of sleep a day cycle, so you probably hear him. Hear him snoring. Oh, whoopsie. Whoopsie. Okay, pause, please. Whew, okay, fixed it. Guess I should look at the pattern and figure out where I am before I go too far. Goodness sakes. And here I am thinking, whoo, yeah, borders. Those are good times. Borders are good times. So much easier. Oh my goodness. All right, well, what else has happened? Oh, I did go to my L&S and picked up the last skein for my La-Di-Da Witch. So after I am done this today, tonight actually, I will finish. I think I'm going to be able to finish that pattern today. So that's super exciting. And hopefully it will be a finish for tomorrow's video. How exciting would that be, you guys? I would be excited about that. But while I was there, I did purchase a few more things. Of course I did. Because, you know, some of the Needlework Expo stuff has been coming in, and I find, I don't know what it is recently, like, oh my goodness, I really don't know what it is recently, but every order I have made has had a boo-boo. Every order I have done online, it has come with a different floss, or it's come with a different fabric, or it didn't come with enough needles. Something has gone wrong in every single order. And so, you know, again, that's one of the reasons why I support my L&S, is that I can touch it, feel it, buy it, you know, and I know exactly what I'm getting. Plus, I just really happen to like my L&S because it is so much fun. Now, that's not to say that there's some other online orders that I've done, hopefully, that are going to come through soon. I haven't seen them yet, but, and I'm not talking about like my Fabric of the Month clubs or anything like that. No, these are strictly orders that I've done online, and have come with something different in the order than I ordered. Which, I mean, it happens. It happens. I, for Mr. G's birthday, I mean, this is how romantic we are. For Mr. G's birthday, I'm buying him a mattress for his truck. Does that not sound like the most romantic gift ever? But it's something he wouldn't buy for himself. I mean, he would just continue to put on mattress, you know, pads, the thicker pad or whatever, over top of the existing mattress. And they break down quick. And, you know, he spends 24/7 in his truck. And I think that comfort is really important. I mean, I bought him other stuff too, but the big thing is a mattress for his bed. And you would be surprised at how expensive a truck mattress can be, especially one that, you know, you want a good quality. But I'm one of those people that really believes that, you know, gifts need to be useful, you know, like, why get a gift if you're not going to use it, kind of deal. And he's, like I said, he spends, you know, 24/7 in a cab of a truck, and, you know, it's a home away from home, and it should be really comfy. And so anyways, I've been searching online for semi truck mattresses, and the ones that the dealership gives you they probably have different levels of mattresses, but I think that most operators get maybe maybe not the lowest of the line, but you know, when they have truck drivers who you know, may not stay in that truck and then may get a different truck. Every truck specs are different, and so the mattress that they had may not go into the new truck that they get. And so it seems like they just kind of throw out the mattress and then get a new one. And so, you know, they're not spending a lot of money on those mattresses. And then they get a new, you know, bed for the new driver. And so I slept on that mattress. I will tell you that it is not super comfortable. It did not have a lot of give to it. And this was even with a topper on it. So I just thought, you know, he's been kind of complaining recently that his back has been hurting when he's been waking up, and so I thought, yep, let's get a new mattress for that bed. So I called around to a couple of different manufacturers, and oh my goodness, you guys, everything. I mean, COVID has really, I mean, not only did it do a lot, you know, personally and everything, but it is really hitting manufacturers hard as well. And the couple that I called, their shipping dates are so much further out than they typically have been able to, that they typically have done in the past because of supply. And you know, the mattresses are made with foam, memory foam, and they're having a hard time getting memory foam in order to make said mattresses. And so I think the one that I ordered, it's a nice 8-inch. I mean, I think currently he's sleeping on a 4-inch mattress. So this will be double the size with cooling gel and the whole deal. But really nice people to work with and talk to. And I was just so impressed. But they did definitely say that, you know, manufacturing wise, everybody is struggling. And she said, and the other thing is they just can't get people into work. She said that just nobody wants to work. She said all the manufacturing plants around them, they've got, you know, a ton of help wanted signs out. And I said, my goodness, I must live in a bubble, because I did not realize that at all. I know with Mr. G, you know, trucking, he does refrigeration, and he's got full loads each and every time, you know, running from here to Kentucky most of the time. And what he picks up and brings back, you know, again, full loads. And so I don't think about, you know, the effects of, you know, if it's not in your face and you don't realize and it doesn't affect you, you don't really know, right? But we had the same problem. We just hired a new employee, and we were getting her a computer and a monitor and, you know, all the other goodies to go with it. Well, the computers are hard to get right now. And you know, we had a 10-day wait time before they could even get a computer to us, because the part, a chip part or something, wasn't available. And so they couldn't build the computer. And, you know, it's just things like that. And somebody I heard talking to, was that on Zoom maybe? And they were saying the same thing with cars, you know, that you go to buy a car and you, unless it's one off the lot and you want a different color or, you know, a different option or something like that, chances are you're not driving off with it in anytime soon, because it's just not being made. And but yes, the lady that I talked to about the mattress, she was saying that they can't, nobody wants to work, and they have all these jobs, and then they aren't getting the supply either. So it's kind of a twofold issue. But so, so I kind of asked her, well, if you don't have the supply, how do you have people, why would you need people to work? And she says, oh, to do all the other components, before we get like the last component or whatever, or to package up things that we've already got and either ship that out or even taking orders, and helping with that. She said, we just can't get a workforce. And so I was, again, if it doesn't affect you, it's not in your face and it's not something that you think about, it's different. I think he's going to be very, very excited to get a new mattress, one that's got the cooling gel and is a little more padded for him, and hopefully that will give him a little more creature comforts of home. And then I think I'll buy him some nicer bedding. He's just got some like basic bedding on there now, but get him something that's a little nicer, even though we are heading into the summer months and he probably won't, he'll just want something light on the bed. But that it's colorful and cheery, and probably that makes more difference to me. He's probably like, yeah, okay, if it's black or gray, it's fine. But me, I'm like, oh no, let's get some color. Let's make it homey. Do you like flowers? No. Actually, yes, he does. He does like flowers. He's not a flowery kind of person, but he likes candles and he likes flowers, and he's, which I really appreciate because I'm not much of a flower person. I like flowers, but I like flowers in a garden. But I love me a candle. Oh my goodness. I love a candle and a good scent, and so does he, which is so nice. And in fact, 9 times out of 10, it's him lighting a candle, which, when he comes home, which I think is really awesome. So I like that a lot. He's very romantic that way. When we first met, he in his house, he had one of those great big tubs. What is it called? A surround tub or whatever. And he would routinely put on like, I like my water a lot hotter than he does. He can't stand hot water in a shower or a bath, and I really like hot water. And the more redder and shriveled up I am coming out, the better it is. And he is like, oh, that's too hot. But he would, make me a bath, and he would put candles around the tub and play some soothing music on his iPad. And I mean, he's so sweet. He's so thoughtful. I'm a very lucky girl, you guys. Very lucky girl. And that we've made it to 5 years. We've probably made it to 5 years because A, we don't live together, and he's on the road most of the time. So, we don't, for the short amount of time that we're together and the quirks that maybe both of us have, you can deal with for a few days, right? So, oh goodness, the poor man. But he likes trucking. He wants to keep trucking, and he wants to do this until he's no longer able to. Either he retires or something happens, and he just is not physically able to truck anymore. This is what he likes doing, and it's amazing to me because I will tell you, being on the road with him, you guys have heard my story before when I was on the road with him, that that was. We also went in the wintertime, and so, traffic conditions and stuff that when I am not behind the wheel and I don't have control, that is really, really hard for me. So that part was a little, that was a little bit for me. Maybe going out in the summertime with him would be a lot easier because, but then there's also a lot more people on the roads in the summer. So traveling and whatever. So I don't know. I like driving. I like driving a lot, and so does he. But sometimes the people on the road does not make it an enjoyable prospect sometimes. And I'm actually really kind of considering going out with him in the summer. I have to give my head a shake. I'm not entirely sure. But, and of course we take the little again with us just because, it's a summer break and her mom doesn't have, she does have to work and it's limited vacation. So yeah, I'm considering it. I might need to have my head examined, but I'm considering it. Crazy girl. Crazy. So other than that, the weather has finally turned nice enough and I've been getting out into the garden. So my daughter and I went to Costco a couple of weekends ago and looked at the plants and the trees. Oh, that is not true. Mr. G and I went to Costco when he was home and I FaceTimed my daughter with the plants that were there for outdoors. And I bought a lot of stuff. So I am now out in the yard trying to do an hour a day of de-weeding because I've really neglected my yard, with the, working from home and then the remote learning and, the projects inside. And I mean, I have to cross stitch and watch Flosstube and also, my goodness, binge watch shows. And it's been cold and rainy here except for the last little while. So anyways, when Mr. G and I went to Costco and stocked up for his next road trip, and a bunch of the outdoor plants are in right now. They've got a bunch of boxwoods and all kinds of stuff to do your yard. And so I bought a bunch of bulbs and a couple of plants, and I have an area in the front underneath my front window. There's a area that I used to have a really beautiful Japanese maple tree there, but we had to dig it out because it was too close to the foundation. And unfortunately, we took great care taking it out, and replanting it in a better spot, but it just did not survive. I think that we just shocked it too much, and it was also really and truly the wrong time of year to do it, and so unfortunately it did not survive, which was unfortunate because it was a beautiful tree. But it was too close to the foundation and it had to be done. And so now I am spending some time outside, kind of fixing up that area so that I can plant the bulbs and get the couple of bushes that I bought in, and then, kind of continue on. And I'm sure my neighbors are going to be really, really happy to see something happening in the front yard, because we'd had, Mr. G and I had started a couple of years ago, doing some things in the front yard, and we created a new brick walkway, and we were kind of landscaping the area out. But then he started trucking and he wasn't home. He wasn't around to spend a couple of hours each day on the weekend to do stuff because he was on the road, and then it was me, and you know, I'm just not able to put in the hours or the manpower that it needs. Once it's in, you know, I can do the maintenance, but it's getting to that maintenance part. And so I just now spend an hour a day just trying to de-weed a section at a time, big enough that it's not going to affect the plant that I or the tree that I plant and the bulbs, and then carry on and then add some more as I buy them. But wow, Costco has some really, really beautiful plants. And they had these great big evergreen spruce trees that they were huge. They were, I want to say, like 7 feet or more, and they were $25 a piece. My little tiny ones that were like 2 feet were that price at the nursery. So it was like, oh, how great would that be to, you know. But you need a truck to get those suckers home because they don't fit in the back of a car. The blueberry plant, and what did I buy? I think I bought a rhodie and a peony. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. Anyways, big flowering plants. And then my daughter wanted a blueberry, so I bought her a blueberry. And between all of the groceries and the items that we had, plus those 2 plants and the bulbs and the pots and other stuff, we filled my car. We legit filled my car. Like, oh, Mr. G was like, we're not, it's not going to close. And I'm like, it's going to close. We're going to get it where it's going to close. I'll teach you how to pack. It's going to close. And he's like, well, I'll just put, you know, some of this stuff in the front with me. And I'm like, nope, you don't need to. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. And we did. It was touch and go there for a moment, but we got it. Oh, I don't know how we did it. We ended up with 2 carts. You know, normally when I go in there, I'm like 1 cart, fill it up pretty high, you know. But we had to have 2 carts because one had to have the plant stuff and all of that, the trees and the bulbs and the planters and some of the other things that we bought. Had to go in there, and then we needed a cart for the food and all the other stuff that we bought. But I was still utilizing space in that poor plant cart. Costco, it's a dangerous place to go, and I need to go again this weekend before Mr. G comes home so that I can get him some stuff to stock up for the next round out, because he is just home for Monday, and he's back out on Tuesday, so he's not home for long enough for him to get his laundry done and us to go to dinner and exchange gifts and do the things, see each other, say hi, happy to see your face. Let me give it a kiss, and then sayonara until a couple weeks. I think they're going to keep trying to keep him out, you know, as long as possible, as long as his truck doesn't need maintenance and he can do the loads. I believe they're trying to keep him out, which is good because when you have deliveries, you make money. So 'tis a good thing. So, but other than that, I think today I'm just going to finish this off here and then get ready. Mr. Odin here needs a bath and a nail trim, so I'm going to drug him up so we can get the nails done and take him to the doggy spa and clean him all up real good, and then finish the rest of my witch. Spend a little time in the yard because it is actually a really nice day right now. It's turning into a nice afternoon. And then get ready for my regular video tomorrow. So I think that that's all today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. That was a lot of blabbings, and this review. Again, I think that if somebody gave me, you know, two options, I would be going with the Q-snap. I like that a little better. It comes up a little higher, so it's closer to my face that I can see, and it's not so close to my body that I don't feel suffocated. I feel like I can't move. I feel like I can't move around and you know, shift or anything, because then I will be disturbing this. So but again, if you have used these and I've put it in incorrectly, or there's a better way, or maybe you know, something I'm doing something wrong, please let me know, so that I can fix it and maybe love this just a little more. So thanks for joining me today. I enjoyed your company. I hope you enjoyed mine, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope to see you tomorrow for my next video. All right, have a good one.